Hi guys, back in another video, and I'm going to do my double feature again because it's Thursday, which means new release day. So until then, I had no new movie reviews because I'm going to have two after tonight. So I decided I'm going to complete my Broadway breakdown before the top five because the top five is going to be intense, probably like 10-minute each videos because there's a lot to talk about in those five shows. So number 6 in my Broadway breakdown is SpongeBob the Musical, and I know you guys know I like it because I wear this shirt all the time. There's just a few things that make it short of the top 5, but it was my third favorite show on my most recent trip, and yeah, so because unfortunately the top 5 is on a tier of its own. Literally, it's perfection in all those shows, and it's just a matter of taste. So SpongeBob the Musical. This show got a lot of hate. It took a bit to get to Broadway. I didn't think it was going to get to Broadway because it had its out-of-town tryout in Chicago, and then it fell to the face of the earth because usually when a Broadway show does its out-of-town tryouts, within that year they do their premiere on Broadway, and no one heard anything after 2015 for SpongeBob. Then all of a sudden it was coming to Broadway at the Palace Theater, which inside is my favorite theater. I have seen 2 shows here. I saw Sunset Boulevard, I saw SpongeBob here, and it holds a dear place in my heart because one of my favorite shows, Legally Blonde, was there. And we're going to talk about Palace Theater in a second. But so the inside is my favorite Broadway theater by far. So SpongeBob is, anyone who's seen the TV show knows what SpongeBob is, but what I appreciate most is it wasn't, they didn't take an episode of SpongeBob that everyone knows. They could have taken a SpongeBob episode so everyone knows, like the delivery episode or the I Ripped My Pants episode, and made that into the musical or made those part of the plots. But they didn't. They took their own story and made it new for that. And I love how the music is so diverse. Each character has their own genre, basically, because 17 different artists did the music for this, which is insane, because I know if they had won Best Score this year, they would have set the record for most people to win the award at once. And it shows like Plankton Raps, Mr. Krabs is a folky song, Sandy's Country. I just loved the diversity of that, and it really showed the character of it. So the story is, so SpongeBob is feeling like he's a simple sponge, and he wants to prove that it can save the day. So it establishes that, I love the opening number, Bikini Bottom Day, establishes everyone in town, what they're all up to. And then it turns out the world's coming to an end, so they have to save it. So between, the only people who are, because Plankton has his mind of his own, he has the evil schemes, and SpongeBob and Sandy are like, oh, we'll do it, and Patrick too, but then Patrick, like, gets lost along the way, so it's basically Patrick and Sandy and SpongeBob, and then Pearl has her own, like, side plot, like, she's trying to, like, join this band and run away, and Squidward's trying to get the music, he's trying to do, like, a benefit concert to help get the money so they can leave Bikini Bottom, and, like, he's trying to, like, have this music about him that turns into a whole thing. It's just such a fun show, and I love the choreography. Choreography is stunning. Best choreography of the show I saw on my trip, and better than Hello Dolly. The choreography is that good. There's probably, even along my top 5, I would say there's only 2 shows that rank above this. I would say this is number 3 for choreography. It's stunning. And the set design was wonderful. That's the only Tony they won this year. SpongeBob was tied for Mean Girls for most nominations, and they won, and Mean Girls didn't. They won for set design, which was completely well-deserved. You walk into Palace Theater, and you're in Bikini Bottom. It's everywhere. I love it. There's only one show that tops set design for me for SpongeBob. No, I would say it's number 3 again. My 1 and 2 top in choreography and set design, but stunning. The costumes were great. They didn't make them caricatures or cartoons. It was wonderful. And I love how athletic SpongeBob was. He did gymnastics, he had backflips, he had aerials, he had everything. it was just amazing. It was such a good time. I've not walked into a Broadway show and had that much of a good time in a long time. It was wonderful. I had a good seat too. I got on Tix that night because I was worried. It was my first day of my trip. I wanted to see Boys in the Band for my matinee, so I saw that on Wednesday, and then I got at Boys in the Band. It was already evening, and I'm like, what's left? And I got a really good mid-orchestra seat for this for $60. So super cheap, super fun. I was one of the only adults there by myself, but whatever. Such a good time, and the kids weren't disruptive. My one complaint is, and this is an issue with the Palace Theater, and the Palace Theater is going through renovations right now. If you don't know, SpongeBob was basically forced out of their home this past month because they're doing renovations to the Palace Theater. They are rising at 20 feet, I believe, above the ground to have underground retail, which a lot of people are complaining about. I don't think it's the end of the world. It's just a shame that they're ruining the Palace Theater to do it and kicking SpongeBob out because they did not have the money to go to another theater. It would have been cost effective. But they're going on tour, so hopefully it goes good. But so the Palace Theater is sitting right on Times Square. Is only theater directly on Times Square, is directly across from Tix. So there is a lot of traffic around. There is no proper lobby. So before they open doors, most theaters either have a queue line outside, or they let you in, or they do a queue line into the lobby, or what is it called? Or the will call area. So theaters that are by Booth Theater and Schubert Theater have Schubert Alley, so they use that to do a Segway line outside Imperial and Stephen Sondheim, and I'm Stephen all theaters. They do queue lines outside, or they do for Dear Evan Hansen. What's Music Box? They did a queue line through the will call area. So they have ways to store the crowd so it's not overwhelming. They don't have a system for Palace, and this happened to me both during Sunset Boulevard and SpongeBob, but it was worse during SpongeBob because of the children. So they shoveled all of us, there's no waiting area. So, for example, the show started at 8 p.m. I get there at 6:50-ish, so you can't go into the theater yet. So there was nowhere for me to go. I just had to stand around, and there's a lot of other people standing around. It was chaos. There was nowhere to go. But then when they opened the doors at a little bit after 7, I would say 7:10, you still didn't have much room to go. They have a very, very, very small lobby. The smallest lobby of any Broadway theater I've been to. So it's a bar on one side, merch booth on the other, and a little hallway. That's it. So all of us were shoved into there. So I carefully got a shirt, carefully got a drink, and was sitting there like this because there's nowhere to go. And they were late to open the door, so I was there until 7:45-ish, like that. So for a good 35 minutes, I was like a sardine with all these children. And it was a similar situation for Sunset Boulevard, but it was more adults, so they were more not up your butt and bumping you and stuff. So I think that's the only positive thing I'm thinking about with the new Palace renovations. Hopefully they can adjust that problem, because that's the only show that I've had that problem with. Every other show has a proper lobby or a proper queue line system to fix this. So that's my negative from that show, that I started off and then I got it and I was like, okay. But it is an excellent show. If it is coming on tour near you, go see it. I don't care if you think it's a kid's show. It is hilarious and amazing and full of great set design and choreography, and I can't recommend this enough. I listen to the music all the time because it's written by people that are on the radio. Panic at Disco, Sarah Bareilles, Lady Antebellum. It's all awesome stuff. Oh, and T.I. too, so it's all good stuff. Even David Bowie, before he passed, wrote a track for this. So lots of good music, great show. Definitely see it if it's coming on tour near you. Yeah, so that wraps up everything through the top 5. So top 5 is coming next. I'm so excited to talk about all of these because all of them are very special to me. So thanks, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Look out for my new double feature reviews coming out soon. Bye.